Clockwork, or All Wound Up, by Phillip Pullman. What? You? How? Dr Kalmenius smiled. It was like a flame suddenly breaking out of an ash-covered log, and Karl recoiled. The old man came closer.
"You see," he said, "I think you may have overlooked the philosophical implications of our craft. You know how to regulate a watch and repair a church clock, but had you ever considered that our lives are clockwork too?"
"I don't understand," said Karl.
"We can control the future, my boy. Just as we wind up the mechanism in a clock, say to yourself, 'I will win that race. I will come first,' and you wind up the future like clockwork. The world has no choice but to obey. Can the hands of that old clock in the corner decide to stop? Can the spring in your watch decide to wind itself up and run backwards? No. They have no choice. Nor has the future once you have wound it up."
Now we're getting to the heart of it. This is Dr Kalmenius's philosophy. This is what he wants Karl to believe. Well, there may be something in it. There are plenty of people who think they only have to wish for something and it'll come true. Doesn't everyone think like that when they buy a lottery ticket? And there's no doubt it's a pleasant thing to imagine. But there's a flaw in it. And here it is. You don't win races by wishing. You win them by running faster than everyone else. And to do that, you have to train hard and strive your utmost. And sometimes even that isn't enough because another runner just might be more talented than you are. Here's the truth. If you want something, you can have it. But only if you want everything that goes with it, including all the hard work and the despair, and only if you're willing to risk failure. That's the problem with Karl. He was afraid of failing, so he never really tried. "Impossible," said Karl, who was feeling more and more light-headed.
"Oh, but it's easy. What would you like? Wealth? A beautiful bride? Wind up the future, my friend. Say what you want, and it will be yours. Fame, power, riches. What would you like?"
"You know very well what I want," cried Karl. "I want a figure for the clock, something to show for all the time I should have spent in making it. Anything to avoid the shame I'll feel tomorrow."
"Nothing could be easier," said Dr Kalmenius. "You spoke, and there is what you wished for."
And he pointed to the little sledge he pulled behind him into the parlour. The runners stood in a puddle of melted snow, and the canvas cover was damp. "What is it?" said Karl, who had suddenly become very afraid.
"Uncover it. Take off the canvas."
Karl got unsteadily to his feet and slowly untied the rope holding the cover down. Then he pulled the canvas off. In the sledge was the most perfect piece of metal sculpture he had ever seen. It was the figure of a knight in armour, made of gleaming silvery metal, holding a sharp sword. Karl gasped at the detail, and walked round looking at it from all angles. Every piece of armour plating was riveted in such a way that it would move smoothly over the one below, and as for the sword, he touched it, and drew his hand back at once, looking at the blood running down his fingers. "It's like a razor," he said.
"Only the best will do for Sir Iron Soul," said Dr Kalmenius.
Sir Iron Soul. What a piece of work. Oh, if this were in the tower among the other figures, my name would be made forever, said Karl bitterly. And how does he move? What does he do? He does work by clockwork, I suppose. Or is there some kind of goblin in there, a spirit or a devil of some kind? With a smooth whir and a ticking of delicate machinery, the figure began to move. The knight raised his sword and turned his helmeted head to look for Karl, and then stepped off the sledge and moved towards him. "No! What's he doing?" said Karl in alarm, backing away. Sir Ironsoul kept going. Karl moved aside, but the figure turned too, and before Karl could dodge away he was pinned in the corner, with the little knight's sword moving closer and closer. "What's he doing? That sword is sharp. Stop it, Doctor! Make it stop!"